What's up? This is Frank. Everything Black. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Like and subscribe. Yeah, the protesting is everywhere. It's getting bad in every city, every state. It's leaking over into Idaho. It's just now coming to Dallas, and I'm gonna play some of that. But Black people, we shouldn't be involved, and I'm gonna play a video that will show we should not be involved in this mess. This is not our fight. And there are reasons why we shouldn't deal with the brown community. I will show you here later. I was gonna play that video, the video you see in the background first, but I'm gonna go to another one first. And let's get started here. Let's get started here. Let's go to this one. Now this is happening around Dallas right now. Let's see what they're talking about.
Arlington and Denton, and these are in addition to the ones going on across the nation. We're talking more than 2,000 rallies planned, all part of the No Kings movement.
Yeah, the mobilization is a direct response to President Trump's military parade in Washington, D.C., in celebration of the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. It also coincides with the president's 79th birthday.
I want to check in with the rally taking place in downtown Dallas today in front of City Hall. Rebecca's live there, and I noticed, Rebecca, you had a hat on a little bit ago. You took it off for the cameras. I appreciate that. You're trying to stay cool as things are heating up today.
It is very hot out here, and in fact, they've had several medical emergencies, and they are now marching. They have taken off to march, and the organizers got up here and they said, listen, there's 3 things that we need to tell you. If you are hot right now and you feel like you're going to pass out, don't march. And there's a halfway point where there's a water station, so if you make it that far, you get some water. And then the third thing that they said that's the most important thing is we are peaceful. They said be loud, but peaceful, and that is the message that they're really trying to get to these protesters. And
Isn't that what they always say? They peaceful. I mean, first of all, every undocumented person here is illegal. They're not supposed to be here. And they keep saying that they don't know what crime they committed. The crime is just being here. But the American government, the American people, keep looking over that part, you know. You can't create rules for some people and then turn around and act like the rule is not there when it benefits you. See, that's white supremacy. It's benefiting the majority of the white population, which is mainly the companies that hire these people. It benefits them to hire them at cheap labor, so that they don't have to hire blacks. You know, that's to keep us down. That's to keep wages low for us. That's why I say black people shouldn't be involved in this stuff. If they do what they're supposed to do, get rid of the people, the labor an hour will go up. It have to go up because they are paying cheap wages for these people to work for cheap pay. If you come from a country with zero and you get over here and you get all kind of benefits, and then you get to go to work. And, you know, some of these people ain't got to have car insurance. And when they hit you, you got to pay your own car insurance because according to them, it's too high. According to the states, a lot of these people don't need it because it'll financially ruin them. But what about American people? What about the citizens, which are mainly blacks? What about us? We have to have it. White Americans, they got to have it. Which I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about us. You know, this is about us. They allow this shit. The white supremacists, the dominant society, allow this shit to go on. Now it's biting them in the ass. And these Latinos, immigrants, you know, try to not only benefit from, but try to make the law work for them. And then try to get mad when they say, hey, it's time for y'all to go. Okay. You done got enough. Now it's time for you to go. Now you don't want to go. Now you forcing them to forget their laws, forget their rules. You know? But you want to make us keep abiding by the rules. First of all, y'all haven't paid us any reparations. But then you allow other immigrants to slide over here and get the benefits that's due to us. Our wages is due to us. Past wages is owed to us. You never paid your payment, your check. You never wrote the check for slavery yet. And redlining and all that other governmental bull crap y'all been doing to Black Americans. Foundation Black Americans. You haven't paid one dime to us yet. But yet you still want us to advocate for these brown folks like we have some type of alliance with them. There is no brown and black alliance. And later on in the video, I'm going to show y'all that. So let's just listen to this video just a little bit more.
So there are 3 different groups that are represented here. They did get permits from the city of Dallas in order to be able to march in the streets. You do have to have a permit. These protesters did go through the proper process to get those permits, and that's why they're being allowed to march through the streets, and they've got a route, and they give them those routes so that DPD knows which way they're going so they can stay safe. They will have officers along the way. They've got undercover officers in the crowd as well, but there are, sharpshooters stationed along the route. They've got the Dallas command staff is actually, I could see them a little while ago. They're up in City Hall inside one of the offices that looks down on the crowd. There are officers on standby nearby, ready in case they need to jump in. But again, they said, listen, we want to prove Governor Greg Abbott wrong, and that is that we are peaceful. We are not here to cause chaos or civil unrest. So they keep saying that to the people, prove the governor wrong. There's no need for DPS troopers or National Guard because we are peaceful. And there are thousands. I've covered a lot of marches in my
working on this all week. Can you speak to more, just give us more of an idea as well about the energy here and what people's message is here and what, if anybody's watching from home, what they want people to take from this demonstration?
Well, I think that there's just a variety of causes. People feel that in some cases their voice is not being heard, that they don't have freedom of speech. If you speak out, you'll be targeted. They are concerned about what is happening with immigration specifically and the raids that are going on. And I was talking a little earlier with Mark.
I mean, these people are angry because, the government is doing its job. The Democrat Party let all these people over. Y'all got to remember that. And they told us to join them. The Democrats told us to join the brown folks. according to your President Biden. He said, y'all need to join them. They're going to be the ones in charge here after a while, in about 30 years, 20 years. And I say, no, everybody needs to join us. We may be in charge in the next 20, 30 years. So the government is doing what it's supposed to do. And people are protesting. These are documented. I bet you 90% of these people down here, which is about, according to them, 10,000 folks, are undocumented. This is where ICE need to be. While they walking through them streets, they need to be checking. This is where ICE need to be. But hey, if you really want to do a job, do a job. Quit playing around with it. Let's continue. But I just want y'all to see the crowd here in Dallas.
And talking about the president somewhat seems like he's shifting a little bit and saying that there's some new rules coming out about the ICE raids in hotels and farms because they believe that immigrants are essential to the workforce. They are hard workers, many of them. They are out there in the...
See, they saying they hard workers. They ain't no harder worker than none of us. That's the lie they keep telling. They hard workers. That's the lie they keep telling. They ain't bit more no hard working than anybody else. They just come over and get the benefits. They live a hard life in their home country, and then they come over here and get the benefits and then still hold up their country flag. That's crazy. They get these benefits. They can have their husband, children, kinfolks, all of them be in the same house and still get housing. Everybody get food stamps. And they get to go to work. Now, how that would benefit Black people if they allowed us to do it. You know what I'm saying? If they allowed us to do the same thing they doing, that would benefit us. But they don't do that. They just allow immigrants to do what the hell they want to do over here. And then they get mad when it's time to, face the criminal charges or face deportation. Because they come over here breaking the rules already. They didn't come over here legally. So anyway, I'm going to come off this screen and we're going to go to another. Let's check out what Florida law is doing. Check out this here. Listen to this.
Because this is the free state of Florida. They're moving here because they know their families will be safe here. Their businesses will be safe. They won't have to contend with what we're seeing in places like Los Angeles and New York and Chicago, those things that are happening right recent days. I will say very instrumental was the tip of the spear in our blueprint for Free Florida. And now he's the tip of the spear in making sure that we are protecting what I like to call our 3 C's, our citizens, our cops, and our Constitution. And he is.
See, they want to say they protecting their Constitution. Now they use the word Constitution. The Constitution don't allow undocumented people over here. You must do it legally. But they want to use it whenever they see fit. See, that's white supremacy right there. Look at the people in the background here. Where you see a Black man at? Where you see multicolored mixture of people here on this podium? And you say there's no such thing as white supremacy? I suspect these people to be white supremacists. I don't know if they are or not, but I suspect it. Now listen to how he talk. And he's talking the way he should be talking.
Stood strong with not only law enforcement, but with us here in Brevard County, and we appreciate you. I'm gonna start out by addressing the doxing issue that we were talking about. Our ICE agents, just like our Florida Highway Patrol, are our partners. We all ride together in this. We all are out here to make sure that we're protecting our citizens, protecting our communities. Many of them have been called to the border. Many of them have been called to other locations to deal with the amount of fugitives and things that are going on, detainers. So for us, we will have their back. We will work closely with Colonel Howes and his team in making sure that we're increasing patrol, we're watching them. Anybody that's doxing them, as the General said, we passed a law about 4 or 5 years ago that makes it illegal to dox here in the state of Florida. So anybody that's doing that, we will take them to full task on doing it. We will stand with you. I want to define a couple things, and our general was very kind in how he said things. I'm not as usually as elegant in how I say things. So I'm gonna first say that peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure.
See, when somebody is ready for war, they use this word called peaceful. They use peace in the beginning. Now, watch how quick he turns.
You have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen.
Let me let y'all see that again.
Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. I want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do.
Look. See, when it comes down to another race, when it comes down to, if they were talking about other white people, you'll never hear this. But look at their faces when he get ready to talk about violence. See, white supremacists, suspected white supremacists, love violence. Look at them. They ready to whoop some ass. Look at them. They feel like that's what they was born to do. Look at how they smiling. This is what they were born to do in their minds. But that's what cowards do. They got their guns. They got their people all on code. This is what I mean when they're on code. See, if black people got together like this on code, they ain't really got to say nothing. That's smile. And when he said, woo, that let you know right there. That let you know what this is about.
Do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you, all right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what's seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, on and on. So I'm going to break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right? This is what I mean.
Violent thing that they supposedly be doing is throwing bricks or Molotovs. You know, I guess that's some type of liquid chemicals, mainly alcohol, with I believe what is that on the end? A cloth on the end, and it's probably soaked with alcohol or anything, something like that, and you light it and you chunk it. And that's about the only violent thing that most people gonna bring. I don't see them bringing, they might bring guns, but I don't think they're gonna start shooting. But the officers got guns. They got everything they need to break out in case of war. But this is not a war thing. I mean, nobody else is bringing guns to fight with guns. Now, I'm pretty sure if the protesters had guns and the officers knew they all had guns, these would be some cowards. If the protester has as many guns as the officers were bringing, it wouldn't be this old boy talk that he doing, like, woo, you don't want to do that. Well, if the protesters had the same amount of guns, it'll be a different talk. And they'll be ready to use them just like the officers ready to use their gun. This will be a different conversation. But he got the power of the government behind him, and now he can talk all this rah-rah shit. So we'll let him talk. We'll let him break it down. Because if the protesters have the same force as the law enforcement, none of this.
If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tighter, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there.
Now, like I said, if he was talking about a bunch of white people doing some stuff, you think he'll say some stuff like that? Hell to the no. They know that they're about to be unleashed to do whatever they want to anybody that get out of hand. And, they should be. But I'm just showing you white supremacy at its best. When they know they got the upper hand on your ass, they gonna come down on your ass. So, but if they really wanted to get immigrants out of here, they would just stop the employers, the people that hired them, from hiring them. If they really wanted to do it, that's what they would do. They don't really want to do it. They just want to seem like they doing something. They want to come down on the people that's working it. It's working for the people that's hiring them. They're not going to come down on these millionaires and billionaires that's hiring these people. They're coming down on the people. So let me come off this one. Enough from him. Go to another one. And this is the reason why Black people should not be involved in this so-called protest. Listen at this part right here. Now, this is just 2 Latino protesters doing this. And look at them cars. Look at all the car vehicles they done fucked up. Let's go.
Call a black cop the N-word during the LA protest. We can't win like that. Put up the picture for a mask.
Hold on. What is this Negro talking about? Hold on. Let me get this Negro. Let's see what this Negro talking about. What the hell is this brother talking about, man? Listen to what he just said. Let me bag it up.
N-word during the LA protest. We can't win like that.
We? What the fuck this word we from? This French. Where this French word come from? We. What you mean we can't win like that? We ain't got nothing to do with this. The Latinos are showing you how racist they are against black people. They ain't doing nothing for us. Nothing they do benefit black people. What is he talking about? We can't win like this. We ain't involved in that. What the hell is he talking about? Just let's listen at this again.
Call a black cop the N-word during the LA protest.
Sir, this is how they feel. This is how the majority of the Latino protesters feel. They are racist, if not worse than some of the white supremacists. Their whole culture is like that over there. I don't understand these Democratic Negroes. They always trying to uplift the Latino. They always trying to uplift the immigrants like we part of that. We ain't part of that. We are, the Foundation Black Americans are not immigrants. We the only people in this United States that are not immigrants. Foundation Black Americans are not immigrants. We have nothing in common. What is he talking about? We can't win like that. He must be an immigrant. He got to be. This guy got to be an immigrant. You know. Anyway, let's go ahead and listen at this. I'm going to end my program on this.
We can't win like that. Put up the picture for a mask. This has to be checked, dealt with, and if not, the narrative will permeate that the actions of the few indicate the actions of the many, and they do not. A video of Latino protesters in LA.
Excuse me, sir, that is the way it is. Now, it may be a few immigrants who like black people, a few of them, but the many don't. And you got to be real about that. Many immigrants, Latinos, other based immigrants in other parts of society, and Caribbeans and Africans and people like that, they do not like us. They are not like us. And again, they do not like us. So stop with the bullshit, man. It's it's a few that like us, but not many. So stop with the bullshit.
Peppering a black cop with racist slurs. This is being used to discourage unity between the two communities as protesters continue to take the streets in opposition to an actual evil.
There is no unity. These people are as evil as the white supremacists. They have joined white supremacy. They have surrendered to white supremacy. Foundation Black Americans are the only one that fight against that. Foundation Black Americans are the only one that fight for everybody's freedom. That we are the only one that fight against white supremacy. Everybody else align with it. This is my program for tonight. Thank y'all for joining me. Like and subscribe. And I will try to keep up on things. I got a lot of business things I'm trying to do right now. So I'm in this program right here, and I'll catch y'all later in the week.